Hi, it's Bumbleberry, and welcome back to Seduce Me to The Demon Wars. So basically, I'm just trying to find James's bad endings. Don't be mad at me. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what you think anyway. I knew deep down the emotion of love was stronger than this angel could ever have imagined. This wasn't something I could debate against when I had experienced it firsthand, blah blah blah. Let's try to stop him. I needed to stop him before he killed her. The angel wasn't worth her death. I rushed forward and grabbed onto James's arm, making him look up at me as I knelt down beside him. James, stop it! You'll kill Diana! James stared at me, taking in what I had said with the same surprised look before looking down at the succubus beneath him and glaring hard. Was he going to kill her anyway?
Come out and fight me!
Ooh, gross. With a burst of energy surging through James's hands, Diana arched back, a spray of frothy saliva and blood erupting from her mouth towards the far wall. That is nasty. James's grip had loosened around her neck, but Diana's body continued to spasm. Oh no. Diana's eyes rolled from the back of her head, finally fading from gold to white as she gasped for air and her body relaxed at last. As Diana's body finally went limp and settled onto the marble, a large white aura of smoke wisped, that's a hard word to say, out of her chest and shot itself at the thrown dais. Does she die anyway? Wait a second, what?
If I cannot kill you, then I will send you to a place you can never escape from.
On James's words, a large set of purple ethereal tendrils snaked around the angel's hands and neck, tugging him back roughly. Diana rose! Yes, we can make her live! Diana, risen from her unconscious state and glaring daggers into the angel's cloak as her hand connected her to the tendrils around her target. It was mildly frightening to see her eyes completely coated in gold, just like James's eyes as she snarled at her now captured victim.
How dare you defile me!
Exactly. James, in retaliation, formed a large wall between himself and the angel, pushing him back in time with Diana's tendril pulls. Each time the angel dispelled one of the tendrils on his body, James pushed forward and Diana formed another tendril in its place. It became a team effort, forcing the angel back to balance his feet over the edge of the hell pit he opened. However, despite each rough tug and push James and Diana gave him, the angel continued to balance himself. With a burst of white light, the angel completely dissolved the tendrils and magic wall, jutting upwards and floating in the air, tense and growling. The two demons, however, wouldn't let him hang around for long. Simultaneously, they pounced off the ground and flew into the air at the angel. Diana on her summoned but damaged wings, and James with his new powers. What new powers? What are we talking about? Diana summoned her saber, and James formed his sword, clashing them against the angel's body. Are we talking about the sword as opposed to using the guns? Okay. He became frazzled as he defended himself against two opponents, each not giving him an ounce of mercy in their attacks. It was almost dizzying to see Diana and James fly around their target, taking shots at him at ridiculous speeds. Each hit resulted with a loud cling of steel against stone that bounced around the room in an endless but random cycle. Oh yeah, watching golden purple fireworks going off against the moon. That's so pretty! I mean, Diana and James fighting apparently looked like that. That sounds really nice though, I like that imagery. Suddenly, Diana's saber was launched out of her hands, causing her to float back a bit in shock when James attacked the angel head-on. The angel knocked back James's attack. Diana swooped behind the angel and entangled her arms around his and locked her legs around his cloak while pressing herself between his wings.
What? Lex!
At her cry, purple and black lightning began to spatter and shake around the angel and Diana, freezing them in the air, but electrocuting both.
James! No!
Incubus didn't falter as he gathered energy into his blade, making it gleam. Yes, an ethereal god.
No! It's over!
Yeah, it is. Boom! He skewers. What? James shot himself forward and impaled his sword into the angel's body, successfully ramming it through his body and skewering both the angel and Diana. Come on! She still doesn't get to live. Golden purple lightning wrapped around the angel, both from Diana's spell and James's blade, causing the wings on his back to burn away into bones, then to ash. The angel's hands slowly began to darken to an ashy black color from the electrocution. James ripped his blade out from his two victims as Diana finally pushed herself away from the angel, leaving him to float in the air for a moment, frozen from the pain. As the angel began to fall, he let out a deathly scream before falling into the hell pit below. Yeah, I get it. The angel's body vanished. That is really depressing. Diana let out a pained gasp from where she had fallen, gripping the open wound on her stomach and panting. We looked over in surprise as she began coughing out blood and calling out.
Settle!
Oh, can he heal her? On her command, a burst of white light emitted from her body, and then he was there.
Isaiah!
Quickly, Sero dropped to his knees and placed his hand over her wound while he wrapped an arm around her shoulders and back. Diana winced and continued to pant for air, gritting her teeth.
What happened? Who did...
Shut up and heal me.
Good point. He closed his eyes and basically went and healed her. As Diana let out a sigh, she closed her eyes and relaxed into Sero's arms, laying her head against his upper arm. Sero let out a breath of relief as well, moving his hand beneath Diana's knees and lifting her up bridal style. Yay! He glared at us, Sero did. Well, it's not our fault. I gripped onto James's hand, stepping forward to in between the boys as Sero began to walk towards us.
What happened?
The angel...
We fought an angel. It has been properly disposed of.
Air in the room once again chilled as Sero kept his eye on my husband. Future husband, may I say. A faint white glow surrounded his body. It faded, however, at his mistress's voice.
Settle.
Sero looked down to see Diana looking up at him, bringing a hand up to his cheek. The tension in his eyes faded at the sight and feel of her actions, making me release the fearful breath I was holding in. Yay! Without another word against my incubus, Sero turned and walked around me and James. As he reached the door, however, he turned his head towards us.
It would seem that your destiny has been broken. Well done.
Thank you.
How do you know this?
Sero didn't speak again before leaving us alone. James and I watched him leave before relaxing into each other's arms with me laying my head on James's shoulder. I could only remember Sero's words as he vanished into the dark castle hall. If Sero was right, then James and I had enough power to break his stone destiny and send his angel packing, only confirmed it. Phew! It's over.
Yes, it is.
Huzzah! James and I held each other tightly, taking in the situation. Did we see this all before? No. The war was over. The angel hunt for James was apparently over. We were safe now, and we could go home. All I could do was let out a sigh and cherish the silence that followed. We would go home soon. Yes. Oh, God, what do you want? This is probably the party. Let's just save, just in case. Let's follow her. What are we doing? At least I got to help bring peace. You know, it kind of sucks that I'm going to kill you now, because I just worked so hard to save you, but let's do it anyway. I made a promise, and it had to be done. Peace out. Faye floated ahead of me with a look of sadness on their face. Why did they look that way? They weren't the one who did the deed.
Did you?
Yep. I nodded, not able to speak. Their frown deepened before they floated over towards me, stopping in front of me.
It's for the best. I promise.
Liar. I love Diana. I hate you. I didn't want to speak to them. I had fulfilled my promise, and I would have to live with the memory of it, however, forever. Oh, then she touched my face. Oh, they touched my face and cast a spell.
Time to forget now.
I stared wide-eyed, watching in surprise as my mind became lighter. Memories of what happened slowly began to dissolve, and my heart became lighter at the loss of memories. Was this some kind of joke? Before I knew it, I felt at ease where I stood. I was in the middle of the hallway with Faye, unsure why I was there.
Hey, silly, what are you doing out here? Your ride back home is waiting for you.
You lied to me. You lied to me. I stared at Faye, confused but determined to return to where I was. The others were waiting, and I was about to go home. I nodded with a smile before walking with them back to the main hall. I was going home.
Well, you
Yay!
did it! Congratulations! You've made it to the end of your story. I have to say,
called
I
Faye's
am very
Abandonment.
surprised at how it
Shut
turned out.
up, Kay. It's like you never know when I'm not listening to you. Okay, in the end, Faye took up the throne. Their growth in training you and their instinct to point out possible danger became a well-valued asset at the top of the world.
But Fae demons aren't really the most responsible demons in the world. Soon enough, Faye left the throne, tired of trying to rule and escaped to a remote part of the world. bent on rebuilding the clan that they had lost to the Demon Lord before the war happened.
Are you kidding me? I went through all of this and you didn't even stay?
The other demons tried to fix what they had done, but soon their rule crumbled and the world went back to being as it was, separated by kingdom and caste. And I believe that—
Oh, great. Well, you know what? We're gonna let her live. Because we love Diana. Let's follow her. Good to see you again. No! I refuse. I can't go through with it. Diana was my friend, and she'd done so much for me in this world. She didn't deserve whatever the vial had in store for her. I took the goblet and cleared my throat, finally getting Diana to turn her head and look at me. It can't be your last night. You have a world to rule. One drink isn't going to kill you. Diana stared at me, a look of pure confusion on her face before she looked to the goblet in my hand, seeing it remain pure. I smiled as she watched me lift the goblet to my lips and drink from it. I have to get that face. Oh, I have to go back. Do you see this face? Oh, I love Diana's face. Especially when she's annoyed. I'm like, you're perfect. Look at your majestical hair. I love it. In instinct, Diana reached for me in a panic, but I stepped away from her, holding the goblet away. Hey! You gave it to me.
But it...
Diana, you are the only one fit to rule. I stared plainly at the succubus, reaching my free hand into my pocket and revealing the still corked vial. I held it out to her and she gently took it, staring at it before looking back up at me. You deserve to rule this world. Anyone who says otherwise is an idiot. Diana's eyes began to water. Oh, you look so sad. You're so precious. Her face became red and her lips began to tremble. Did she really expect me to use the vial? She held the vial tightly and covered her eyes, most likely not wanting me to see her cry. I felt incredibly sorry for her, seeing her weep silently. She was a target, and she expected death to come around because of her standing as queen of the rebellion. What will Diana do when she officially takes the crown of the entire demon world? I waited as Diana rubbed her eyes and cleared her throat, now finished with her personal breakdown. She looked at me and smiled just slightly.
Well, I guess one drink won't hurt me, huh?
Yeah, that's right, girl. She twisted her free hand through the air and formed a second goblet, filled with the same liquid that was in my cup, and raised it towards me. I smiled and clinked my goblet against hers.
Thank you, my dear.
The new queen. Oh, to the new queen of the Abyssal Plains. Long may she reign. We simultaneously sipped our drinks and let the words ring between us. It was a worthy toast, and Diana deserved it. Especially because she doesn't abandon her post, Faye. She would be the new queen of the demon world.
Well, you
Yeah,
did it!
buddy.
Congratulations! Sarah, Diana became one of the most
so she's
beloved.
loved.
However, she had a long list of words to say against the rebel leaders. You did give her the vial of poison, after all.
You show 'em
While
who's
Diana
boss.
had a heart of gold, she wasn't at all forgiving of what they had attempted to do to her through you. She made them choose between death or banishment from the Central Council.
Fair enough.
Faye, Sergeant, and Rabbit chose banishment. Shadow chose death. And I believe that is everything that—
And that's how it ends! Yay! I think that actually needs to be a separate video from James's bed endings, because that was kind of awesome. So I hope you enjoyed Diana's little search. Sorry this wasn't actually James and his terrible endings. This was Diana getting vengeance. So that's a perfect segue into Diana and her route, which will be next on the Seduce Me series. So hope you enjoy. As always, leave a like or comment. I still don't know who left the stupid destiny thing for James, which is really frustrating. Sarah did not explain anything. I wanted one extra scene with him. But you can't always get what you want. Except cake. Let's have some cake. All right, and you stay sweet.